Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. And for the first day of Anime Week 2024 here on the channel, we're going to be taking a look at the previously released Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Son Goku Legendary Super Saiyan version. Now, this is not that old of a release. I just wasn't able to get it when it was released. I think in like November of last year. Could be wrong, but I had to wait a few months. And then by the time I got it, I was just like, I'm just going to wait for Anime Week to review this if I'm being honest. This is technically the 3.0 Goku that a lot of us are familiar with now, that a lot of us have gotten. They're still using the 2.0 body for some things, so yeah, they're not retiring that anytime soon. But I am excited to finally take a crack at this and open it. I'm not going to go too crazy with the, the packaging here. You guys know what's going on. The S.H. Figuarts, the figure in the box, images of the figure right there, as well as the name of the character, ages 15 and up, a Tamashii Nations quality sticker. Unfortunately, where it says Bandai Spirits made in Vietnam, sometimes people get a little bit nervous about that. But a bunch of different logos that you saw there, and there is a re-release actually of this. While I'm showing you the rest of the packaging, the re-release I believe is coming out like this week or maybe like sometime this month. Could be wrong about that. So this is the first version I got, and if you are interested in getting the re-release, which is kind of perfect that I wouldn't say perfect that I'm reviewing this one because it's gonna be old, but I guess it's a refresher of, hey, the re-release is coming out. I'm just showing the rest of the box. I don't really need to talk that much about it besides different, images of Goku as well as the different wording there. But if you're interested, the new reissue version is coming out, and there should be some improvements to that. So I have the one that isn't improved, apparently. You can see a bunch of different images on the back of the box with him posing. When you see the back here with that Bluefin sticker there, as well as a barcode just in case you need that, as well as the Bandai Namco logo. Let's go ahead and take this figure out of the packaging. And here is the figure out of the packaging. And yeah, I actually really like this a lot. I was a little worried about the quality because of the whole Vietnam thing, but this is a pretty nice figure that has a really nice quality to it. And whatever issues are here, they seem pretty minor, at least for me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that this comes with, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So I've had a hard time capturing some of these smaller details on camera, but you're going to notice with a lot of these face plates, scratches that are supposed to be there, like battle damage, like the forehead, around the cheeks as well, like on this one here. The problem is that the skin tone is quite glossy, so a lot of these details just kind of blend in, unfortunately. The rest of the body is like that too. I don't know if I like that glossy skin tone. We'll have to see during the detail portion. But this faceplate in particular is really nice with the gritting teeth here. You have really nice separation of paint going on, and then we actually have some nice line work underneath the eyes. On top, right there, above the eyebrows, really nice scrunching detail work. In between the eyes too. The ears also look really great, and the printing in the eyes, of course, is really fantastic. They usually do a great job with that, especially the teal and the pupils. One thing I want to mention that I don't know if this is accurate to how it's supposed to look in the anime, but the eyebrows here are a little bit darker compared to the lighter sideburn paint going on there. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but you can definitely tell how that looks. I'm not going to hate on it for now. And if it's not supposed to be like that, it's not that big of a deal to me. This is a really fantastic screaming face. I really like how they captured the expression with like the cheeks being pulled up, as well as like jaw going down. Like the way that they captured all of that motion in there, looking really fantastic. And again, really you get a better look at the printing in the eyes and the pupils there. And that separation of like the tongue, the teeth, and the back of the mouth there with that paint is really fantastic. There might be a little bit of a red speck back there, but not that big of a deal. And then we do have this smirking face, which has really nice line work in the mouth, and then a nice little sculpted and painted line for a little scrunch for that smirk. Not much else to talk about with this one. It still looks really nice. So the figure is packaged with this type of hairpiece in the front here. You pop this off, and of course this is how you're going to pop off the face plates, but you also get this alternate hairpiece. And the biggest difference here between the one you get packaged with is these little strands that are almost like bangs. All of them are pushed back here, as you can see, with only one left here with this different one. But that paint is pretty consistent. I feel like if you have a little bit of darker paint going towards the faceplate and a little bit lighter paint going towards the back with the tips there. And then you do have Like this is a little bit of a softer plastic, but still be careful with this. And this crease detail in the hair is also really nicely done. And then you do get this other headpiece here. Everything is pushed back, as you can see here. See if I can do this really quick. Yeah, I'm actually having trouble throughout this whole review. I've had to do this a couple times trying to do this. But yeah, you can see just how pushed back that is. So that's more of like a powered up hair. Yeah, so that's going to look pretty nice. And these pieces aren't, interchangeable. This is much smaller and covers way less compared to the other pieces. So it's not really going to work. But this is a different head sculpt for different action poses. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the hands. I want to show off really quick that these are different hands. I think a lot of you knew that by now. But they are larger. I don't know if they're retooled from another, like maybe like Beast Gohan. I don't think so. But I believe these hands, while they're done in a similar fashion as like the Super Saiyan 3 hands, they are a different sculpt and they are larger here. Again, there's going to be some details on these hands that are going to be a little hard to look at because of how the light hits the glossy skin tone and makes these details kind of fade away. But the back of the hand there, definitely, you can see some scratching. I think even like in the palms maybe. Not that much. Yeah, this palm right here. So that's pretty sick. You have these hands with the little plug in there. That is going to be for the Kamehameha effect, which we'll take a look at in a second. But these are also similar to another set of hands I'm going to be looking at in a second. These ones right here, which every finger is a little bit more spread out individually equally. There's another set of hands that are different, or a little bit different in terms of how they're spread out, and I'll talk about that in a second again. Back of the hands have some nice line details on the battle damage there. Again, they're just molded in the skin tone. There's really not much to talk about with these, and a lot of us are familiar with how they do Goku hands, even if these are a completely different sculpt. I think there's a little bit of a yeah, okay, that's dork. Yeah, they're just similar enough to where you kind of know what to expect with Goku hands at this point. And then these ones are more of like a flat blast effect hand going on here. Like the detail on the palms are actually looking really nicely done. Last but certainly not least, we have the Kamehameha effect. Now, I believe this is more I don't know if this is the exact same. I don't have that figure on me right now. I believe this is a similar approach to how they did the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that blast effect, because this here with the Kamehameha, like the older ones back in like the early 2010s, each port going in here was a different shape, but these are like, some of these are the exact same shape, and then two of them are a little bit larger, so it's a little bit easier to plug them in, but you can see how nicely detailed this is. If you hear a pigeon outside, I do apologize, but we do have some frost detail going on here, this frost detail here, and it gets to this translucent blue, harder plastic, which if you bend it, yeah, it will break, so be careful. But this is a little bit of a softer plastic, the actual Kamehameha here. If I have them, yeah, I'll go ahead and see if I can plug these in. It appears that the fingers, like this surface area that's a lot more exposed, you just plug these in like that. I'm giving you one more close look at how all this looks. But a lot of you are familiar with how this looks by now. The way that these are like rays of light shining out, and then the actual detailing on here, all of that is really cool. So what is going on exactly with this original release compared to what's going to happen with the reissue? Well, I don't own the reissue at all, unfortunately. Can't give you an official look at that, and I don't think it's completely out yet. But Isaac Wong Toys on Instagram does have a comparison. It does look like the chest paint, or the way they did the chest tones, are a little bit more consistent with the rest of the body. It's a little bit lighter looking in some in-hand images, and like promotional images, it really didn't look that bad. But honestly, when I look at the original version of the reissue, it doesn't look that noticeable. Now though, when I'm looking at it through, like in person, it's not that noticeable, but in camera, that's just weird how it just does this sometimes, where I definitely see a lighter skin tone here compared to the rest of these arms and the rest of the what's going on with the like abs here. I don't know if I absolutely hate it that much to where I need to go out and get a completely another version of this figure again, but that does seem a little bit irksome. Again, in person, honestly, it really isn't that big of a deal to me. So when it comes to this head sculpt, again, lots of great line detail. Now, because of all the separation has to happen here, it does look pretty. The gappage is a little much. It's not too bad though. But the actual like hair detailing, similar to those face or those hair pieces I was talking about earlier, darker when you get towards like the roots or like towards the face really, and then lighter when you get towards the ends of the hair, which all look really fantastic. They didn't really, it doesn't seem like they painted it that much on the back here, but you do have some nice, crease detailing all throughout with the nice hair. And that is also pretty similar. Yeah, that's the way that approach, I should say, is pretty similar to this other hair piece right here. And then the more stern expression you get here, it's just a stern expression. There's nothing to write home about or anything, but it is a really nice looking one. Like the way that they did the detailing in the mouth right there with that paint, that looks pretty nice. Down to the neck, really nice muscles going on in there, but it's just molded in the skin tone. There's not much going on in here, but it's a neck. There's not much crazy to go about. Again, the biggest thing about this whole figure is you get a shirtless Goku, and a lot of areas have really nice battle damage scratches all throughout. But as you could, it actually is a little bit easier to see with this, that some of the battle damage is here compared to like some of the stuff that's a little bit more glossy. So yeah, this is a little bit glossier. This is still pretty glossy, but it doesn't seem as much as this, but it's just such a minor difference. The muscles all throughout look really fantastic, and yeah, it's an action figure where you're gonna have like different parts in here and the gappage and stuff, but when especially pushing this back out, it actually looks pretty consistent in the muscles with these butterfly joint pieces. And then again, these arms, it's the glossiness kind of makes it hard to see. I have to get really close to show you, but yeah, you can see just the scratches going on in there, looking really nice. The overall sculpt work in the actual muscles, I feel like sometimes doesn't really get appreciated because, if there's like certain details, like how certain rips are done or like certain design choices are detailed, those get mentioned. But like the actual molding that goes into the actual muscles is really impressive. Then they have to add these details later, I'm pretty sure. I make action figures, so I don't know their entire process, but I just think that the muscle work is really nice, and I don't know how appreciated it is. It looks really sick. Then you get down to the forearms, nothing crazy going on here. Elbows seem pretty consistent in skin tone. Ripped up armbands right here, looking really good. It's just in this one blue, though, similar, pretty consistent with the rest of the blue that's still on here. And then you get the fists. They're just fists. There's nothing really crazy again to go off about them, but they still look pretty good. They don't really get these wrong that much unless there's like paint splotches, which I don't see any on these particular ones. Getting to the chest here, the pecs and all that, the muscle detail, just everything looks really fantastic. Is there like a red splotch here? Is that scuffing somehow? That's interesting. I don't really know what's going on there, but I have a feeling that things can get scuffed over time depending on how pushed in it is. Like that. So that is interesting. I don't see it on this opposite side at all. But the abs, they look really good. Man, again, it really is pretty apparent through the camera at least, just how light that chest is. A bit of a seam line here, but it's again in an action figure, so you're going to notice that. It's not too bad, honestly. Actually, is that even a seam line? Now that I'm saying it was a apparent seam line, I'm double guessing myself. If it is, doesn't really matter. But again, the muscles in the abs look really fantastic. They did a really good job sculpting those. And the back muscles, too, look really sick. You have... Is this a separate piece? Yeah, so this is a separate piece. This does pop off here. Yeah, and it does move. So let me see if I can do that even on camera. This might be hard to pop back on because of how small this hole is. Yeah, I actually have no idea if I can pop that back in properly. But this is a separate waistband piece going on here. Is there also yellow getting scuffed here? So I feel like skin tone is getting scuffed, even if it's so subtle. Yeah, you can't really tell it too much, but skin tone's getting scuffed a little too much to my liking. This is going to probably have to come off. But the way that that's torn looks really good. This is a separate waist piece here connecting to pretty much the crotch area. Some scrapes, not scrapes, but just battle damage, I should say, on the the actual body or the actual pants. I'm starting to lose focus because I just am running out of steam here. But the back here also looking nice. I feel like the orange here, you can kind of tell it in person, but it's way more apparent in camera. Maybe it's something in my settings. This is definitely lighter looking compared to this. But there's also, this looks darker to me in person, so I don't really know exactly what's going on there. Maybe, yeah, it's probably the camera settings. But still, like, it is pretty noticeable in person how different the orange is compared to this molded darker orange. Slightly darker, I should say. But again, the detailing of the rips, like around here, all that looks really fantastic. Especially like how this is way more exposed. This is not as exposed, but things are like blowing in the wind. That is really nice looking, how they did all of that. And the back of the legs are exposed. You get some nice muscles showing through like the calves and like the, that's the calves, and then the thigh section, I should say. And then you get down to the boots. So, I mean, I haven't brought out a 2.0 Goku at all, just because this is completely different from that. And you'll see how in a second. But, yeah. I do like how the boots are sculpted. They look a little larger already compared to the other ones. You know, like 2.0 ones. But the way that they have like the yellow and blue with that separation there with that paint is really sick. I mean, the blue is molded in here. You have these little tie sections. Never knew what they were called. But the top of the feet look good with a nice scrunching detail. That's what the bottom of the feet looks like. But these look really good too. Like that paint and that detailing looks fantastic. Just quickly bringing this out because they're done in a similar way where they're shirtless. Yeah, you can see just how, like, especially, I mean, this is a completely different version, of course, so it's going to be way larger in mass in the top here. And then these are more of, like, ball joints here, or, like, dumbbell joints for the articulation. And we have actual sculpting for how the different articulations are going to go there. But then, of course, the hip sections, too. Yeah, they're going to be completely different. Still looks pretty good, especially on this particular, you know, Goku here. Ultra Instinct, but this whole body mold is really nice. Pretty standard articulation in the S.H. Figuarts line, which is going to be pretty good. Taking a look here, we do have this dumbbell joint going on in here, which is really nice. Much better than a 2.0 head articulation. Swivels here, side to side. In this lighting, it feels like the face might be a little inconsistent with the neck skin tone too, but you do have that articulation in the neck going on in there as well. Just not that much. You do have a little bit of a forward and back motion here with the butterfly joints, and this piece moves with it. You can shimmy it up and down just a little bit, and this can push out a little bit and go all the way out. You can see that. Arms do go all the way around here. You get an upper arm swivel, double jointed elbow like that. Standard wrist articulation, so it swivels and then hinges, so you can make it go up and down or in and out. I'm having trouble doing that right now. Ball joint here and here. So you get way more forward, actually, I feel like right here. Yeah, but still pretty good range of motion in the upper chest. Swivel a little bit, but you're really getting most of that motion swiveling here. And then you can hold this here. This can, you know, hold this, and that'll move independently. Or, you know, sometimes you let it go, it will move with it. This little piece here. But the gappage is a little apparent if you see that. Legs can go forward actually really nicely. And then back, the butt gets in the way a little bit. And then getting these splits is a little tricky because of the softer plastic on the crotch area kind of getting in the way, but you can do a full split, and they did detail these sections a little bit. Upper thigh swivel could be a little bit better. It seems a little bit tight on here. Double jointed knee, I was about to say, yeah, nothing else when it comes to articulation there or on the shins, but you do get a swivel here at the ankle. You can make this go down. Maybe it has a ball joint in here, so you can shimmy it a little bit to make it go up. So that's good. We do have nice ankle rocker and then a toe hinge. Now measuring out the figure is a little tricky because of how tall the hair is. So just to play it safe, we're going to go off of that measurement. Top of the hair in centimeters is going to be about 17.5. So we're getting at about 6 3/4 inches. So subtract whatever you need to get, you know, how tall it actually is without the hair. On the left, we do have Ultra Instinct Goku. On the right, we do have Beast Gohan, both from S.H. Figuarts. Now, when you're comparing the actual head levels, they both on the side are taller than the one in the center, which is interesting to see. But on the left and right, we have a standard size Black Series Mando and Marvel Legends Spider-Man. You can see how much taller they are. Overall, I do think this is a really nice figure. I'm glad to have finally experienced it and opened it up and just take a look at it for myself. The big thing here when it comes to gripes is that inconsistent skin tone, mainly in the chest. In person and in camera, it was quite noticeable. Not too bad, but this is something that should be fixed in the re-release, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. But I was noticing as the review went on, some scuffing somehow in certain areas, mostly like the right butterfly joint as well as on the back, unless the light was playing tricks on me. I was noticing some scuffing in the plastic, so it was a little weird going on there. Overall, though, this is a really solid piece. Really great articulation, nice body mold and sculpt work going on throughout the whole figure, especially how they did the muscles, the battle damage all throughout, the rips and tears all throughout the pants, the different hand accessories, as well as the different types of hair pieces you get, the different face plates, and the Kamehameha effect piece is still really sick. This is a very nice piece. I do recommend, if you want to pick this up, see if you are getting it from a retailer that's going to have the reissue, just in case some people still have the previous one in stock. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys in the next day of Anime Week.